We can't do without fiat. So we still need the bank.
First of all, crypto was meant to remove the middlemen from transactions. You know the funniest thing? When I checked that wallet, Binance have not bought any of those tokens yet.
Really?
Up till now.
This is more like what we need at this point in time when we're having bank fears.
Welcome to the Jude Umeano Crypto Podcast, where we talk everything crypto. Now, a lot has happened this week. We have 3 banks went under. USDC Depeg and came back. Bitcoin went below $19,000 and now is trading above $26,000. What caused all this? Kraken ready to launch its own bank, and so many other things happened this week. So we're going to talk about this. You get to know why the banks are shutting down, why Bitcoin did that move, what happened to USDC. Is it still safe to put your money in USDC? And to talk about this, here with me is Uche from Inside Crypto. He has been on this podcast before and he'll be giving us more insights. I told you guys last time to check him out. His channel is Inside Crypto. Please go there, subscribe, and watch his amazing videos. And also with me is Chisomanagor. She's from Nigeria Bitcoin community. She put up amazing article there with her team. So if you want to read, if you don't want to watch the video, want to read and get insight on what is happening in crypto, please check out nigeriabitcoincommunity.com. Just type it, you will see it there. Welcome, guys, to this podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Jude.
I hope we're gonna have an amazing time.
Yeah, we will.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, so let's start with. So I will take the first one. We'll start with 3 major banks: Silvergate, Silicon Valley, and Signature Bank are down. So what caused it? It started with Silvergate Bank. Silvergate Bank gave a report. Was it this week or last week?
Last week.
Okay. So Silvergate Bank gave a report last week saying that they are winding down. They said they are going to give all their customers, all the depositors back their fund, and they're going to close the bank. So what caused their collapse? I'll explain. Then after that, Silicon Valley was unable to keep on paying its customers its fund. It became insolvent. But can banks really be insolvent in the United States? Following that, we now have Signature Bank coming out to say the same thing. So I'm going to explain why this happened. We'll start with Silvergate Bank. What happened to them was what we call a run on the bank. So let's start with FTX. FTX, the bank, what happened last year, that was about 4 months ago. FTX went under. And Silvergate Bank was the bank that helped FTX process its fiat transactions. Now, when FTX went down, people thought or believed that Silvergate was exposed to FTX, that some Silvergate money was in FTX. So people ran to withdraw all their money from Silvergate Bank. This is what we call a bank run. Now, banks are allowed to keep fractional reserve. In other words, when you deposit your money into a bank, they are allowed to take a portion of that money and invest in different things, right? And it means that if everybody go to get their money from that bank, the bank will not have enough money to pay everyone. So we can't say the bank is not solvent. We'll say it is illiquid. In other words, the monies are tied somewhere in some places. But the bank can become insolvent if there's a run on the bank. And I'm going to bring the facts in to tell you what happened to Silvergate Bank, why they are paying off everybody no problem, and what happened to Silicon Bank, and why they can't pay everyone, what happened to Silvergate, and why the Fed is coming to bail them. So going forward. Now, the Fed has been raising interest rates. If you are following the financial market or crypto, you notice that the Fed is raising interest rates. And these banks, when they have customers' funds, to keep it safe, they have to invest it. That is how banks give you interest. So they invested it in bonds. The government issue bonds, and the government pays interest on those bonds. So let's say when Silvergate bought their bond, maybe the interest was 5%, right? Now, it can be a 5-year bond. It means that if I purchase this bond, I'm going to hold it and earn, say, 5% on this bond. After 1 year, the government is going to give me my 5% over that 5 years, and also give me back the money I used in buying that bond. The bond closes. But even while holding that bond before it expires or closes, I can trade that bond. Let's say I bought $1,000 worth of bond, and I'm getting 1 or 5% interest on these bonds, right? Then the government raised interest rates to say 10%. And the issued bond, they're not paying 10% on the new bond. Now, what happens is that if I want to sell my bond to someone else, I will have to, the person wouldn't want to buy my bond at $1,000, right? That he's buying the bond, because he could go and buy the bond, the other bond issued by the government, and take 10% interest. So therefore, the bond I bought for $1,000, I may end up selling for $900. So it can make sense to the person buying the bond. So when there was a bank run on Silvergate, people were playing their money. The bank has the obligation to pay people their money. So, and the government has the Fed has raised interest rates. They then have to go sell those bonds they bought with a lower interest rate at a loss. Silvergate ended up losing $1 billion trying to pay out customers their money. Then came Silicon Valley Bank. The same thing happened because Silvergate is a crypto-friendly bank. Silicon Valley Bank is a fintech-friendly bank. It's actually in Silicon Valley, and Silvergate is, and the other one, Signature Bank, is the same thing. So what then happened is this: since the run now is on crypto-friendly banks, so everyone also rushed to withdraw their money from Silicon Bank, because if I hear rumor that there's going to be a bank run on Silicon Valley Bank and my money is there, of course I'll go and withdraw my money. So everybody went and withdrew their money, and what happens is that Silicon Valley also had to start selling bonds at a loss to be able to pay customers, and they ended up losing over $1.8 billion, and from being illiquid, they became insolvent. They are not able to pay customers back their money, and the same thing is happening to Signature Bank. So I would say this can happen to any bank if there's a bank run on the bank, right? But it's unfortunate it's happening to to crypto-friendly banks, Silvergate, Silicon Valley, and Signature Bank. Now, you can see, we saw that during this period when the news came out that Silicon Valley Bank became insolvent, that USDC Depeg. Uche, can you tell us how it happened?
All right, so basically, USDC, which the owner of USDC, like the front runner of USDC, is called Circle. So they had their fund in, I think about 10% of their currency, their fund in in Silicon Valley Bank. Now this is what happened. So when there was this bank run on Silicon Valley Bank, SVB, when there was this run on the bank, people felt like USDC has actually lost about $3.3 billion that was left in the reserve in SVB Bank. So this actually caused panic among everyone, and people started selling off their USDC token. Now this actually made the USDC to Depeg immediately. So, but when you try to think of it, as at then, the market cap of USDC was about $44 billion or so, about $40 billion or so. And just $3 billion is missing, and people are already panicking. So the panic actually made people move their fund from USDC to other stable currencies like USDT and maybe BUSD, because other stable currencies like even DAI, GUSD and the rest of that also collapsed, also depegged that day. So there was a lot of tension in the market, and well, they weren't able to handle it very well. And 24 hours of that day was hell for crypto. Everyone was like, this is the end of crypto and the rest of that. But the next day, the Circle team were able to handle it proficiently, coming out to say that they are going to handle every loss. And since that time, the market has repaired slowly. So,
but I think that happened on a weekday, right? On a weekend, right?
Yes, on a weekend.
And you know that the money is actually backed with the banks, and the banks don't function on weekends.
Yeah.
So even if anything happens, it has to happen. They have to make it right
on a Monday.
On a Monday during working days. So, but do you think that when USDC depegged, do you think that it could come back?
Well, I knew they were going to come back because one, USDC was so big. Before that time, USDC was like the most trusted stable currency.
Yeah, because I know there's always this debate amongst USDC, USDT, and BUSD,
exactly.
And USDC has been the one that is glorified to be the safest. So it depegging is more like a shock that ran through the crypto world. So what made you confident it's going to come back?
Well, because of how big it is, I knew that investors and big crypto guys weren't going to allow this to fold. So obviously they rallied around them, and I think that day when this whole thing happened, the founder of Ethereum converted some of his Ethereum to USDC. I think at 0.8, yeah, at 0.8 cent, at 8 cent actually, 80 cent, yeah. At 80 cent actually, he converted some of his Ethereum to USDC. So that was when I knew that there's confidence in this market, because these guys have information at the back end we don't actually have. So I actually saw that it's going to happen.
So you actually made money, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he made money, about 20%.
Oh, wow. Awesome. So there's also this news that Binance, I think crypto, like you mentioned that Vitalik, right?
Yeah, Vitalik.
He converted some of his Ethereum to USDC just to help the crypto economy. And even Binance also did the same thing.
Exactly.
Binance had to reintroduce USDC pairs. Before, when you send USDC to Binance automatically converted to BUSD. But now they are introducing Bitcoin USDC, Ethereum USDC, and
BNB.
And BNB USDC. But next question is, the crypto market, when this news came out, right? A lot of things happened last week. It was amazing. Many of them happened in one day. The peg, the collapse of the banks, Ethereum being called security, KuCoin was sued, Huobi flash crash. All this thing happened in just about 24 hours, and this made Bitcoin go down below $19,000, and now it is up over $26,000. Can you give us, how did that happen?
All right, so when this whole bad news was around, so it actually made the market came down to about $19,000 or so. But then first Circle came out and they were going to handle this, they are going to handle the issues. So when they said that, it actually brought some confidence in the market. That was the first reason. Now secondly, the US government and Fed came out to say that they were going to bail out SVB Bank, and basically SVB Bank was like a bigger catalyst as to why this whole market crashed. So the US government coming out to bail them also returned hope to everyone. Confidence again. Exactly.
So in other words, the $3.3 billion that Circle has, or USDC money in Silicon Valley, is going to be cutting back.
Hopefully.
since the Fed said they're going to bail them out,
hopefully
they should bail them out.
And also, Binance came out to say they have that they're going to get like about $1 billion recovery fund they have in their wallet. Yeah. They're going to use that to buy BNB, ETH, and BTC. So they converted it. They're actually going to convert it from BUSD to these currencies. So that actually created the euphoria in the market, like, oh, this market is back. For Binance to buy about $1 billion worth of this asset.
Yeah,
it means
I actually believe it's one of the things that is pumping the market, because Binance just say we have $1 billion in BUSD.
But you know the funniest thing, when I checked that wallet, Binance have not bought any of those tokens yet.
Really?
Up till now. The last time I checked, they've not bought
people
any.
are just riding the wave.
Exactly.
People are riding the wave. Well, I think Binance actually has a way of pumping and crashing the market if they want to. I'm talking about FTX crash. Binance activated it.
I feel like they feel the market is too up for the price is too much for them to buy. So probably they want to buy at lower prices.
Or maybe they're just trying to return confidence to the market, because it's more like every crypto person. I see what happened last week as more like an attack on crypto, especially by US. The Fed is suing KuCoin, saying that they have securities, right? Because in KuCoin can go ahead and purchase Ethereum or some other coins and put it in their staking platform, and you earn yield. So the US define that as security, and before you can operate an exchange that gives security in the US, it must be registered with SEC. The New York attorney I think she's the one that said that KuCoin is operating a security, thus it should not operate in the US. So I think that's what happened to KuCoin. But what made the news go viral was that, is it the attorney calling Ethereum a security? For God's sake, Ethereum is not a security. And the way you know Ethereum is not a security is by doing the how it test. I won't talk about it in this podcast. Maybe you should go and check it out. Now, coming to US attacking crypto, there's a proposed 30% tax on crypto miners' electricity. So can you give us more insight on that, Jason?
Okay. Concerning the US proposing a 30% rate on crypto mining, I think it's going to have a negative effect on cryptocurrency. Because first of all, if we should look at it, 30% rate is a significant proportion of miners' profits. And according to, when I was reading the news, I came to understand that they are to pay that tax for every watt of energy that is consumed. That is whether miners make a profit or not. Because if you look at the POW blockchain, for example, you see that miners don't make a profit by merely mining. At the end of the day, is the miner that gets the calculation right, that carries the profit.
So what I think the US is just trying to discourage its citizens from mining crypto, because just like you said, a miner can be making a loss, right? And he will end up still paying 30% tax on his electricity, whether he makes profits or not. So I think the Biden administration is just doing everything possible to make sure to discourage US citizens from going into crypto, from the KuCoin attack to the Paxos, because they try to attack Paxos, saying that BUSD is a security, to they labeling Ethereum too as a security. So I think all these things are just attack on cryptocurrency by the Biden administration. So Kraken is ready to launch a new bank. Do you think it's a good idea that a crypto exchange is now owning the bank, since all the banks are crashing?
Okay, so before I say if it's a good idea or not, I want to say firstly that the US government has been attacking crypto markets, crypto projects, and everything you can actually think about. There have been a lot of regulations against Kraken. I think earlier this year they said that Kraken should stop they're staking.
They're
Yeah,
staking
exactly,
and
staking,
yeah.
and the rest of that. So there are many things.
But Coinbase is still sticking with the staking.
I don't know. Probably, probably. I don't know what their plan is actually. But let's see what happens with it, because obviously they are meant to obey regulations and not just discard these regulations. So we don't know their plans and we don't know what's going to be the outcome. Let's just keep seeing what the U.S. government is going to do against them or not. Yeah. So coming back to see Kraken building a bank or not, I think it's a very wrong move, because first of all, crypto was meant to remove the middlemen from transactions. The blockchain and everything you can think about it is taking away intermediaries. So getting a bank at this moment is like returning crypto back to traditional finance, which is against what has...
I think the reason for the bank is that how do you get fiat into crypto? You still need a bank, whether I like it or not. So, for example, if you look at these stable coins, they are kept in banks. They are backed in banks. That is one. If you look at, say, I have dollars or naira,
Yeah.
I need to convert it to crypto. I still need a bank. So, since a lot of banks have been attacked because they're keeping fractional reserve and they're having run on the bank, and crypto is now finding it difficult to convert fiat
I think,
to crypto.
I think
crypto
that's
to
why
fiat.
we're having these issues right
So
now.
I was listening to Bankless sometime. One of the presenters said that he finds it difficult to actually have a bank account because many banks don't accept crypto-related platforms. So on the other side, I think if Kraken ends up having a bank, they are crypto friendly. They're going to play by the books that the U.S. government wanted to play by, right? By just making the record clean and even try to be liquid all the time, so they won't be affected by a run on the bank. And as well, they end up helping crypto individuals or firms to be able to interact.
I feel it's not going to work.
I don't think at this time that, and let me land. I don't think at this time that we can't do without fiat. Right?
That's true.
Because we need a world where we need to interact with fiat. If you want to enter airplane, you pay in fiat. So we still need a bank. If you are trading, if you made a lot more from your trading, you still need to convert it to fiat money.
Well, it's going to be a very tough one because we still have to interact with banks. Is the major reason why Silicon Valley Bank crashing is actually actually caused this aftermath of the crash in cryptocurrency market and the rest of that. So I think so far there have been a lot of proposals to get crypto-backed stable currencies. Like currently we have TUSD, which is quite different ideology from backing it with USD and the rest of that. So I think we are getting to that stage, and just recently we saw that the CEO of which crypto exchange is saying that
BitMEX is proposing a Bitcoin-backed stablecoin.
Bitcoin should be backed by stablecoin should be backed by Bitcoin and the rest of that. So obviously, I think that's going to be a very big shift, because if we want crypto
beside backing DAI, for example, is backed by cryptocurrency. We understand that, but you have somebody on the street, right? The person or someone you just met, the person doesn't have crypto, but he has fiat, he has naira, he has dollars. He needs to purchase crypto. He needs a bank.
I think that is where the Kraken Bank comes in. I think it's going to be the future of on-ramp and off-ramp for crypto firms, because this is more like what we need at this point in time when we are having bank fiasco. So I think it's a great move, because we have people who are in the crypto space, who already know what crypto, who understand crypto better, coming into to the banking system to make this thing work for us. So I think it's going to be a great move. It's a great one.
Okay, even if it's going to be a great one, are you trying to say that there won't be regulations against Kraken? There will be serious regulation, and it can actually fail, just like SBV and every other bank.
Kraken is already being heavily regulated, and they're
Yeah.
complying with
Yeah.
regulatory whatever, right?
Yeah.
Coinbase, I would say, is the most regulated cryptocurrency exchange in the US because they have their books open to the feds to look at any time. They have your KYC and all those stuff. So you don't even have privacy when you're using Coinbase as an individual, right?
Yeah.
So if they play by the books, right? What is banking? Take the customers that obtain the license,
Yeah.
right? The city of Kraken is a citizen of US, right? There is no law saying that if you run a crypto exchange, you are not allowed to run a bank. If he has the money, the fund to run a bank, he can go ahead and obtain the license, do whatever he needs, play by the books, then have money in the bank, take deposits. He might just use a very small percentage for bonds if he wants to go into bonds, buy bonds. Or he might not buy bonds at all, right?
Yeah.
And keep all this money there. So if there's a run on the bank, you have enough money to pay them back. Now, I don't know what gave him the confidence, cracking the confidence, or if they see there's an opportunity there, or if they see, because I see Kraken as an exchange that has been careful over time. The CEO of Kraken actually once worked for Mount Gox, right, before he crashed. And when he created Kraken, I think his name is Jesse Powell, when he created Kraken, he was the first to implement proof of reserve even before FTX crashed and proof of reserve became a thing. So I think, to me personally, it's a move in the right direction. But if ever, I don't know what your objection is actually.
Talking about,
Yes.
I think Uche mentioned about the Bitcoin-backed crypto stablecoin proposed by Otto Hayes. I think he's trying to portray it as something that is going to be the perfect stablecoin. But if we're going to look at it, we've also had other stablecoins like USD not being backed by actual reserve in the bank, but crypto assets. So there is no guarantee.
USD crash now. USD.
Yeah, so it's the same thing is likely to happen in the Bitcoin for
So
Naka dollar.
are you saying what's it called? BTC is going to crash?
I'm not saying BTC.
I think I
depends
understand
on
our point. If you're going to create a coin using Bitcoin, means that you have to over collateralize that particular coin, because it might start going down unless he wants to use a mechanism which will end up being algorithmic and end up just being like what was created by, what is his name again, and Do Kwon. And so I don't know how he's going to do it until we see it. But I think if you want to back up a stable coin, and for example, why would I want to tie down if I am to use $2 worth of Ethereum to mint one stable coin? Why the hell will I want to tie down in my Ethereum to mint $1? So I don't know how they're going to do it.
I also think we've not seen a workable, we've not seen a workable cryptocurrency, a stable coin that is backed by crypto. I think the other blockchain, what's the name again? Agora wanted to do something like that. I've forgotten the name of the stable coin, but I think the whole thing crashed few weeks. I think hackers hacked into their system and stole their funds. So we've not seen any stable coin backed by cryptocurrency that survived the test of time and all that. So I don't really think it's going to be a strong one or a strong proposal for
I
the
think
future
that
of stable coins.
I think that a stable coin that is backed, that is outside of crypto, that is outside of fiat, will actually work if we are fully using fiat. Even though we are fully using crypto, I mean, like if you want to go buy anything, you can pay with crypto. I think that's when it will kind of work. In my own opinion, I might be wrong. The technology is still evolving. We look forward to seeing more things on how to actually solve. Because this stablecoin problem now is a big issue. big issue in the sense that USDT has never been trusted, but they are still waxing strong.
Exactly.
They're operating outside the US, so they are under the US jurisdiction, but they are the first and they're waxing strong. USDC is the most trusted, but we have seen a problem that the bank can become insolvent. Then BUSD, which we also kind of trusted, we see now that because it's in the US can come and say label it a security, and main thing is going to stop and it will be disrupted. So all this, so these are the problem we have right now with stable coins. So I believe that it's open for innovation for someone else or some other persons to start looking for ways to actually create a true stable coin that is devoid of crypto manipulation or government manipulation through fiat.
Another way that I think that the NACA dollar is going to be a better option, even though I think it has both sides.
You can crash.
Yes, it can crash, but it still has a benefit and a risk. If it's handled well, then it's going to be a good one, because if we look at it, Bitcoin is truly a decentralized cryptocurrency compared to other altcoins in the market. Then we're not going to have things like regulators coming in to sanction it, or we're not going to have all these experiences. So it all depends on the mechanism or the mechanics that it's put into creating the NACA dollar that will determine if it's going to stay for the long run or not. So that is it.
Okay, thank you. I think we are rounding off this podcast. Any last words? Where do you think Bitcoin is going? So $26,000 right now.
All right, so I feel like there has been a very big run for Bitcoin, especially since January till today. And basically, I feel like there's still going to be a retracement, because obviously nothing goes up forever. So obviously there's going to be a retracement, but after the retracement, not as much as we are above 25K, the market is bullish. I feel like the bull run is back.
Okay, we'll see to that. Just what do you think? Any last words?
I think a lot is happening in the cryptocurrency space, and for now, I don't really believe that we are heading to the bull. Like we are heading over to bull run. For now, I just want to keep my hands crossed and watch the markets, do more of technical analysis, and see where we go. So that is it.
Okay, for me, I think I've always believed that it is accumulation phase that we're going to range this year and probably properly enter the bull run next year. And that is it from the Jude Umeano Crypto Podcast. If you're on YouTube, then you should check out this next video.